Greetings, folks. I'm out here doing a little motorcycle upgrade today, and I thought I'd bring you guys along, show you a little tutorial. I'm doing a little work on my KLR650 right now. Right now I'm in the middle of a valve clearance, a valve shim change. I already did the valve clearance check. That whole job will be in a separate video. Should be coming out in the next few days, so if you want to check that out, subscribe to my channel, look around. But today we're doing a little upgrade. We're adding a phone charger to this bike. I'm going on a road trip pretty soon up to Michigan. I'm not sure if I'm gonna shoot a video for that or not. It's my first huge road trip that I'm doing on this bike, so maybe I'll shoot a little guide for how to do a road trip, several 100-mile long road trip. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that yet, but today I did want to show you guys how I'm installing this charger. So I went on Amazon and I picked up this charger right here. It's super hot and humid out. I'm sorry if this camera gets fogged up or I get sweaty or whatever, but picked up this charger. I also picked up another charger. This one right here. This one broke after I plugged it in once. I already shot like half of a video for this charger installation with this one, but I went out a couple days ago and plugged it in and it just was not working. So another disadvantage with this one, I'll link it in the description so you guys know to avoid it, but one with this is it does not have a switch or a button to turn it on and off. So man, oh man, it's hot. I would have had to buy my own switch and install it inline, I think, with that charger in order to turn it on and off so it doesn't drain my battery, because it has one of these little voltmeter things on it. But this one has a nice nifty little switch, and I'm hoping that it does not break as well. It's so damn hot. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to install this. Came with a couple wires. These are pretty long. They get from my battery pretty much up to where I want to install it, right up here on this little wire cover, but it's going to be really tight, so I want to splice in just a few inches of extra wire with this, and yeah, I'm going to make a couple cuts in those wires that came with it. Damn, look at the sweat. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna make a couple cuts. I'm gonna solder that wire to the wire that came with it, put a little heat shrink over it, wrap them with some electrical tape so they stay together, and then yeah, we'll get to installing. I think what I'm gonna do is I've already got some Velcro right here that I tried to install the other one with. If you see here, I sort of wrapped this thing in Velcro and it wasn't staying on super well. But if you also see all this red stuff, I tried to install this with silicone, but it just was not working. It wasn't staying in the same place long enough to set. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a little bit of Velcro on this. I'm going to stick it right here, and then I think I may try to put like silicone around the edges just to make it a little bit more secure, and then I may even put like tape over it or something like that, or like a little electrical tape or something like that. I don't know. It's gonna be slightly sketchy. Maybe I'll try to figure out a better way to secure it in the future, but there's really no good spots for it. Like on this this whole dash, like if you see here, this uses one of these little screw things, and so the ideal thing would be to have like a piece of plastic that you could drill through and then stick this through and screw this nut on the other side of, so it's like secured in there. But there's no good spots for it on the Gen 1, so gotta do something a little janky for the time being. So yeah, I say we get into it. I think for the most part this video will essentially just be showing you guys how to solder the wire together, in case you don't know how to do that already. But other than that, it's a pretty quick job. It's just lengthening the wire a bit, screwing it into the battery, and then yeah, getting it secured on my dash. Let's do it, folks. All right, so I got my little thing set up here. Fortunately, I don't have like a workshop or a desk, so I gotta do everything on the ground here. But got my soldering kit. Got a heat gun, this extra wire, some wire strippers, electrical tape, and I got a nice little power source right there. But yeah, we're essentially just going to be, I'll take one of these, going one at a time, and I think I'm going to make my cuts above this fuse right here. So I'm probably going to cut right here and right here on this wire. I'll strip both ends of it. I'll cut off, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 inches of wire for this, 2 pieces. Strip both ends of those. I'll twist the wires inside into a little coil, and then twist each ends of these together. I know it's a lot of describing. I'll show you how all this looks later. I also don't have a tripod, so I can't really do this in real time. I've only got one hand. Pretty soon I'm gonna up my production value here on this channel, but until then I gotta work with this. So we'll twist both of those together, and then we'll be able to start soldering. And essentially all that's going to be is you'll put the solder iron underneath the wire and just heat the wire itself. And then once the wire gets hot enough, you'll take your solder itself, this little coil here, and you'll just touch it on top of the wire, and it will melt and sort of seep through the whole thing. And you also want to make sure that you get your heat shrink onto the wire before you twist them together, so that you can just sort of slide it over the soldered wire and get it all secured down. So yeah, I will get that all prepped, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. I've got 2 of my connections done. This one under this heat shrink right here, this one right here. That's what it's ultimately supposed to look like. And then I've got 2 little example things for you. So you want to coil each wire first, twist them into a little straight piece, and then you twist each wire together just like this. Then when you go to solder, that's what it looks like when you're done with that. And see how it's sort of like it's seeped through the whole thing? The way you get that is you take your solder iron, and where are we? This stood up like this. You take your solder iron and, is this still on? No. You just go underneath the wire and you just touch it and heat it up for a little while, and then finally it will be hot enough, as I was saying earlier, so that you can just touch your solder right onto it, and then it will melt from the top through the whole wire, and then you've got a good connection. And again, just remember to have your heat shrink on before you do that, because you can't get heat shrink over this end and you can't get heat shrink over this end. And even after saying that earlier, I forgot to do it, so it's easy to forget. So just get your heat shrink on there. Then after you're done coiling them together and soldering them, you sort of pinch them together like this, and then you can slide your heat shrink over this pinched bit, and then take your heat gun and finish up the job. So I'm gonna get these two done, and then we'll move on to actually securing the charger itself. And here we go, I got it all wired up. So I got positive going to the positive terminal, negative screwed into the negative, ran it through here under this zip tie, through this little thing. There's the fuse for it, there's the wire. Ran it up through there, between that fork, and then we got it all the way up here. And I don't have the Velcro on it yet, but that's going on next, so it can get secured right there. And let's turn it on. Boom. 12.7 volts, perfect. Can turn it on and off, that's amazing. Okay, so I think next up I'm just gonna get some Velcro, stick it on here, and then I think I might leave it like that for now. I think maybe in the next couple days I'll try to get some silicone down there and down there, just so that it's extra secure, and then I'll have a nice phone charger for myself. Do I have the wire with me? I got this nice little coiled lightning charger, yeah, right here. I'll link this in the description too, but that'll make sure that my dashboard is nice and tidy, and we'll be all good.